What's good, everybody? Welcome into Inside the Green
Chill.
Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. And oh my, did a lot happen over the past 48 hours in the NBA. LeBron had a decision. Turns out his decision really wasn't a decision. He's out of pocket. We're going to get to that in a moment. Giannis apparently was on the brink of making the decision this past offseason to go to the New York Knicks. And now he might end up on another roster before the season's over. Yes, we'll talk about that too. Before we close out the show, we're going to give you our top 5 players with something to prove this upcoming NBA season. A lot to get to. We're going to get right into it. But first and foremost, Danny, welcome back. I know you spent time over the past 24 hours with our friends up north in Canada, in Vancouver, to watch the Toronto Raptors take on the Denver Nuggets. Give me the highlights of your trip.
Man, it's always dope. Every time I go back to Canada, they show so much love and embrace me, man, with open arms. One of the highlights, I got a chance to go on air with Matt and Jack, which was dope. You know, they were, calling the game. We talked a little bit about 2019. I got a chance to go see my tattoo artist. There's a lot of good things happening, but I also got a chance to do some events, interact with the fans, man, and see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while from both sides, mostly from the Toronto Raptors side, people visiting, but even some people on Denver side, that I didn't realize that they were there. I got a chance to catch up with a dear friend of ours, Burton. So it was a great trip all around, man. But even before that, I got a big shout out to the Frasers. Bobby Fraser got married. I went to see his wedding in Chicago. It was really nice. The weather in Chicago was amazing, which is rare in October. I brought a jacket, didn't even need it this weekend. It was beautiful, bro. They executed very well, and he's married. I'm happy for him. It only took 39 years, but he's there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bobby Fraser.
It's in the words of my my mother. It's never too late to do the right thing. It's never too late. With that being said, want to get again, there's a lot been going on in the NBA for sure, but then a lot of stuff has happened off the court too, not just in the world of basketball, but in the world of sports. We had the whole Mark Sanchez drama in Indianapolis, where now he's been he got hospitalized and arrested and charged and now being sued. And then you had the story that really did. I had to take half a day off social media when I saw the Kyron Lacey story. When I saw that he was essentially framed to be put as the guilty party in a hit and run that resulted in somebody passing away. And then later on committing suicide. And then when the video came out to show that there was a police officer that was coercing somebody to be a false witness, I said, oh, no, I can't. And I wanted to say something on social media, but there was a part of me just the world is too crazy. First of all, foremost, Danny, the world is too crazy right now already without the nonsense. And then all the nonsense that is going on. And then you saw that, I was like, my goodness. And then you had the unfortunate news that you received this past weekend. It's been and I'm happy we're going to talk about basketball soon. And it feels like, and it brings me back to almost brings me back to my childhood, Danny, where it's like, basketball, and I'm sure in some ways it was for you too, just becomes a refuge where it's just like, I just want to watch a game, not think about the madness of this world that we're living in right now.
The gift and the curse of social media, right? Obviously, we love to know and be informed of what's going on, but we're seeing so much of it now because everything is recorded. Everything, the technology, there's cameras everywhere, and seeing it every day, you used to have to just turn on the news to if you wanted to avoid it, you just don't turn the news on. But now it's everywhere. It's all on your social media. It's all on your phone, your text messages, group chats, TVs, all different channels. So again, the positive side is yes, you're informed. You get a chance to be updated and prepare yourself, like your family or your kids, of what's to come, in these situations. But a lot of times you just don't want to. You want to take a break from it. You don't want to see it every day. It just kind of it drags you down a little bit, drains you a little bit. But again, on another note, it sucks. Prayers out to the families that were affected in the accident, the victims, the family falsely accused. But to me said it's hard to me to think about those things because I was really hit. I wouldn't say hit hard, but it took me by surprise when Tony Parker's father passed because he wasn't old, and that's when you're like realizing, damn, my parents ain't that far away. You know what I'm saying? And he was a young black dude from Chicago, used to be out, hang out with us in the clubs, had good energy. So yeah, my condolences to the Parker family and Tony. I sent the text, reached out, and I think it happened abruptly. But man, it said there's so much going on in today's world, and this past weekend was a lot to take on, a lot to take in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Thankfully, well, not thankfully, but again, basketball and talking about basketball can somewhat be a refuge.
Yes, and basketball's coming back. The preseason, like, you know, we're getting some more sports back. Football's going. It's helping us see more of the positive stuff. But yeah, it was a tough weekend on the other side as well.
We had a lot going on, and especially on Tuesday, we saw the news that was broken by Shams Charania, ESPN NBA insider, and man, oh man, did it hit like a bombshell, and it wasn't even a trade. According to Shams Charania, sources closest to him have let him know, or he reported rather yet, that Giannis Antetokounmpo during this past summer was looking at the Knicks and the Knicks only as a trade destination. Could you imagine that? Giannis Antetokounmpo playing in Madison Square Garden. And apparently the New York Knicks were the only team that he was interested in. And obviously there's so much that has happened with the Milwaukee Bucks on the negative side. They haven't gotten out of the first round for a while. No Dame Lillard, he's injured. And they even though they did make a move for Miles Turner, it does seem like Giannis Antetokounmpo does have one foot out the door. Now, with that being said, he's still under contract for this year and next year and having a player option in 27, 28. What is even more interesting, Danny, is that Shams also reported that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his representation are looking at trade options that he could potentially explore if the season doesn't go the right way. And let me tell you right now, the fact that you're already thinking about it, the fact that it's already being leaked, that you're looking at things if things don't go the right way, is already letting me know the Milwaukee Bucks season is not going to go the right way. If you already have your star feeling like that, what even adds to the drama, we also heard reports that Giannis Antetokounmpo's family no longer lives in Milwaukee. They have moved to Athens, Greece. And I don't know why specifically he did or his family decided to do that. I'm sure there's a multitude of reasons, but I'll tell you this, does not seem good when a player's family decides to live in another country. I don't think this Giannis Antetokounmpo and Milwaukee Bucks thing is going to last for long, Danny. I think he's up. Danny, I know you have a lot of thoughts. My first question is Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Milwaukee Bucks by the trading deadline?
No, I don't think so. And I'm with you. I agree. I think he's halfway out the door. There are outside of the Knicks, I think there are still some really good options for him. But I think this is a plethora of things that added up to make him feel this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, which he says. He says in the media he did not know about the Drew Holiday trade. He says he didn't know about the Damian Lillard getting cut or waived. He found out by social media. So a lot of things are movements that he said that has happened without his knowledge. So he says, I think it's kind of being the last straw. So with him not having Dame anymore and everybody else kind of gone from that championship, not many other guys there from that championship team still left over, and then getting rid of two or three coaches at the same time. Hey, Chris Middleton, and then two or three coaches are gone. He is halfway out the door, bro. And as much as you love the Knicks fans and big city, big market fans want to see him play there and also LA with Luka, which would be interesting, but they don't have enough to, I think, give Milwaukee in return that they would like with package deals. They have some stuff.
Talk about that. We can talk about it.
You know, but if you look at the Texas teams, they have more than enough pieces that will, as Milwaukee Bucks organization owner or GM, I'll be like, okay, I'll be happy with those packages. When you look at Dallas, what they have on their roster. When you look at the San Antonio Spurs, what they have with youth and on their roster and build from and with picks. Even like the Houston Rockets
like a Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, some salary filler. Could you imagine?
You have guys there that are still making pretty good bank that are on their bench that they're probably not going to have huge roles with. You got Jeremy Sohan. Like there's a bunch of they have a lot of guys there. and that if I'm Giannis, they want to play with Wemby, or you can play with Kyrie and Cooper and and AD. They have packages in all three Texas teams to make something shake. Houston, not as much as they did before they got KD, but they still have enough.
Yeah, there's opportunities out there, that's for sure. When we talked about it this past offseason, I said he should think about going to the Spurs. Him and Wemby could control the league for the next 10 years. I was championing that.
The next 5.
Early
next 5
this
for
summer.
Giannis don't got 10 more. He got like 5. So yeah.
Well, if he's playing with Wemby, he might have 10. But even with that being said, I just think it's a fascinating scenario for him to be in, because as a report said, he was looking specifically at the Knicks, and I want to isolate the Knicks situation first, especially because I'm here in New York City. I work for MSG Network. I love the New York Knicks, and Danny, there's a part of me that says, and I know it might be foolish, part of me that says I don't want to trade for Giannis. I want to see if this Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson thing can really work in a more sophisticated
with OG, Mitchell Robinson, a healthy team. I get it, because you're gonna have to give up a lot of pieces to get Giannis. You're gonna have a lot less of the bench. You guys have a good bench, a better bench than last year. So if I'm a Knicks fan, I would want to see it play out the way it is right now too. I wouldn't want to trade for Giannis right away either, unless it was a straight up deal for Cat for like that's the only way, and like some picks or something. But that's not going to happen. There's going to be
not gonna happen.
2 or 3 other players involved.
No, yeah, and I don't want to see that play out. At the same time, I'll be damned if he goes to any other team in the Eastern Conference and makes them a better team. Now, I don't think there's any.
Ends up in Cleveland.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be nuts. I don't think there's many other teams in the Eastern Conference that it would really make sense for him. Yeah. And if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo, you really have to think your next move, it's got to be your best move. And your next move, you probably want it to be your last move. You don't want to be jumping teams back and forth, especially when you already have your family out the country at this point. Like, you want, at least if you bring them back, you want them to feel like, okay, we're stable here. We're going to be here for the next 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think you and I are on one accord. Giannis is out. And frankly, it feels weird that it didn't happen already. Sure. Because why didn't this happen during the summer?
Yeah. They felt
again,
I feel like they felt they could turn it around. But once Dame went down, like, that should have.
But that's what I'm saying. They made the trade. If Giannis, Danny, at a certain point, if you're a franchise, at a certain point, and you've been through this, and you were lucky, you were with the Spurs, so like they never had to quit, right? It was always just like, okay, Tim's getting older, we could keep on doing reiterations of this team, but still have Tim here. I think the problem or the challenge for the Bucks is they tried to make this new era Bucks, like the one that's different from the one that won the title, and they never struck gold. And if you're Giannis Antetokounmpo, you have to say to yourself, I won a title, we tried, and the way our books are set up, especially because they're paying Dame over $20 million for the least per season for the next 3 seasons, you just lost a salary slot. Yeah, and you're doing nothing with a lot of that money that you owe now that you owe to Dame, because you waived and stretched him just to be what, a 6 seed, a 5 seed, just to get bounced in the first round. What are we like? What are we?
If Giannis has 2 injuries this year, they're in the play-in. Like, he could not get hurt more than once this year. Small injury, not saying if he gets hurt twice with a hamstring or ankle, they're in the play-in. They don't have enough. If he's out for more than 20, if he's out for 20 games, they don't have enough to not stay in to get out of the play-in.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating situation for the Milwaukee Bucks to be in, because I think we all, at a certain point, we probably all predicted this. Once the Dame thing didn't work, it was like, you knew that was the last straw, and they could have just said, you know what,
blow it up.
Blow it up. But they doubled down this offseason. And for you to double down, and Giannis's response is, yo, I'm out. Yo, I'm thinking about leaving. That
all bad.
That has to
be a lot of fire. I would think there's be some firing up at the top at some point, I would assume.
Well, Jim Horace too. I believe it was the GM there. He's also the one that got them a title, so he does hold some weight. He did have Giannis stick around for a while. Yeah, you're right. So did Bud.
I don't give a damn. You know, people have won championships that are not in a job right now. It happens every 2 or 3 years now.
Could you imagine what it feels like to be Doc Rivers right now? Like you got back into coaching. Yeah. Somehow, some way, you got another championship-ish roster on your hands, and then this.
And then he can keep counting his chips and be okay with that. But yeah,
They could have kept Adrian Griffin for this, Danny. Yeah. They could have kept Adrian Griffin for this.
Yeah.
Man, hey, listen, man. I'm not the one running things.
They could have saved a lot of money on coaches. They definitely could have saved a lot of money on coaches.
Could have saved a lot of money on coaches. And I would also say the NBA circles could have saved a lot of their attention not looking at LeBron James' Instagram feed, because we don't have too many out-of-pockets for this episode, but we got a big out-of-pocket. I will preface my statement by saying this. LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching him on my TV and in person. I love what he has done as an ambassador for the game. I love how he's put his people on. I love how he has really tried to teach the game with his different media and entities. I applaud his business acumen in terms of taking not just his star as a player and making himself a global icon. Salute to LeBron James. I have 3 issues with LeBron James. Number 1, he called himself King James. I'm not feeling it. I'm never going to feel it. It is what it is. No. He just isn't that what he like? I believe he gave himself that nickname, right? That's what I believe.
I don't know if he came in, that was him that gave him the name, but he does refer to himself as he does. It's his tagline. It just rubs me the wrong way, but it is what it is. Legally, man, you got 50,000 points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I could be Danny. I could be the strongest person in the world. I could bench press 1,000 pounds. I could squat 1,200 pounds, and I could be the king of weightlifting. But I would just never refer to myself as king. That's it. It's just a personal gripe. It's just a personal gripe. There's really no. I understand. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. It's a personal gripe. Number 2, the decision number 1. If you were ever going to publicize that you were leaving your hometown, or if you were going to leave your hometown, don't publicize it. Don't go live with it. But hey, we all make mistakes. It's not a great look, but it is what it is. Sure. I don't blame him. It is.
A portion of that money was given to charity, though.
No, so stop it. Stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense. Stop the nonsense.
It was a mistake, but yes, we know where we were trying to go with it.
No. Stop the nonsense.
Not a good move. We do know that.
Not a good move. And now my third beef with LeBron James. To take one of his worst PR moments when he announced that he was leaving his hometown team and to flip it into the decision 2, only for it to be an ad to promote Hennessy. I ain't got no beef with Hennessy. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what the beef stands. Nah, bro. Henny's the one that I'm thinking Henny's out of pocket. They're the ones that draw up the commercials. I don't think Bron drew up the commercial.
You might be right. I don't care. LeBron, you don't think LeBron has the power to be like, chill? Because that was Danny, that was corny.
Yes. He could veto. He has power to veto whatever he does and whatever brands say. I'm sure the bag was pretty big and the bag got bigger depending on how many views it got for how much attention it got. So he said, all right, I'm game. I'll play on words with it. Master marketer, man. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
But Hennessy's out of pocket. They wrote up the commercial. Hennessy's the one that's out of pocket.
Well, Hennessy got my attention, but I'm not inclined to have Hennessy now because I'm upset. I'm upset.
This was a bad way to promote something because the spin on it now, whatever it is, I said I've talked to some of the homies. It's like, all right, you're hyping this one thing up, but now you're gonna look at this thing in a negative content because of the way you promoted it. Like, yeah. It could have been something great, but because he put it this way and people think it's a really big decision, which is not, now they're like, oh, it's just that. So now every time you think of Hennessy, like, fucking, these guys did this bum-ass decision thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, you're like, looking at you looking at your bottle like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And discuss.
Man, they did that. They did that funny style
My
LeBron
damn
joint. I
Tuesday.
don't
You know what I'm
know.
saying? Like on my damn Tuesdays. What y'all got me tuning in for this? Can't believe it. You might love Hennessy, but that might change a little. You might look, you know what I'm saying?
Like, nah, you know what? I'm good on that. I'm good on a Henny tonight. Where the tequila at, dog? Switching it up. No, again, it did show once again that he has gotten our attention. Only LeBron James can do that. But with that being said, Danny, it did have people thinking. Well, first and foremost, can we pour out a little Henny or pour out a little 40, pour out a little drink for all the people who spent hundreds of dollars to buy the tickets for the last regular season game.
Listen.
Just pour out a little Henny for them. I feel bad for those people. I really do.
I don't. You got bamboozled. You're silly to believe so. But I mean, somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to be silly enough to fall for all these pump fakes, right? It wouldn't be funny. The world wouldn't be the world if we didn't have a category full of lesser intelligent
gullible people. Yeah. If LeBron James retired, if LeBron James was to retire, it's not going to be labeled the decision. Now, come on.
And it's going to be the way he wants to do it, this platform on his own time. Like he's going to do it his way. It's not going to be that like a little incoming commercial type shit. So you're silly as hell. And you deserve that loss for tickets.
Yeah, they definitely got. With that being said, though, it had people thinking, Danny, when exactly is this thing coming to an end? And I know
and a lot of people that were upset at the Cleveland Cavaliers, like, where's he gonna? They're trying to figure out or wonder where is he actually going to retire? Is he going to come back? Like, you know, people in Cleveland are hoping that he retires a Cav. So when is he going to retire, and where is the conversation now? So that's what people are wondering.
Well, I think here's number one. And I think Danny, here's maybe a Easter egg for us to figure out when LeBron is going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NBA wants to make it a big deal. And I think LeBron, to a certain extent, is going to want to make it a big deal too.
For sure. He deserves
it. When the NBA schedule is announced next season, and whatever team LeBron James is on, whether he's on the Lakers or on some other team, if their last game is against the Cavs in Cleveland, that's LeBron James' last season. If you're Adam Silver, you have no other choice but to make
the
sure
final
LeBron
game
James
for the Lakers,
the Cleveland Cavaliers. And again, it doesn't have to be the Lakers. Who knows if he's on the Lakers after the season? He might be on another roster. But whatever team he is on, if that last game is against the Cavs, it's his last season.
Yeah, I think it happens. My prediction, I think he probably announces it in some way or fashion halfway through the season.
No, you think so? No, he got to do. No, you got to do it before the season starts.
You don't want to go to places twice. The thing you making sure that the place you visit them one time at that. Like my farewell tour is visiting those cities once after I announce my decision. I don't want to go back to Sacramento twice. I don't need to go back to Portland twice.
But it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work like that.
But you give people,
your first game of the season could be against the Charlotte Hornets, and then you announce it in January. Well, you're never going to Charlotte again.
Oh well, all right. That's fine. East Coast cities don't matter. The people that went to those games, they know these are his final years. If you're not smart enough to know, he's in year 23. Nobody else has made it to 23 years. If you want to see LeBron James' last basketball games, you better be attending these last games this year and next year. There's a good chance he's not going to be playing in year 25. And he might not be playing in year 24. So if you're on the East Coast and he only plays one game in fucking Charlotte, you better be there. Now, you West Coast teams, you might have a little bit more time. But I predict that he's going to announce this halfway through the season or at All-Star, or this is my last season, and have his farewell tour for the last 2 months so he can be locked in and also focus on the because you don't want to just
all
about the Lakers and about him. He wants to focus on the playoffs too as well.
If he announces it halfway through the season, the rest of the season is all going to be about that. If you do it,
Yeah.
if he says it,
that's why you find out how bad they're
season,
going to be. If they're terrible, he's going to announce it halfway through the season. If they're good, he might not let it be known because he has to focus on the playoffs and don't want to be about him. But if they're not great and DeAndre Ayton doesn't pan out the way they expect him to be, by All-Star break, you better believe LeBron James, I'm not going to make it to play with Bryce. This is it.
Yeah. I think he's got.
That's the only way to make the Lakers more relevant. If the Lakers are not good, the way to make them relevant and make tickets go, this is it.
I think he's gonna have another season after this. I think now there were some reports that LeBron James wanted to get an extension from the Lakers this past offseason. I think the fact that yes, he could have just wanted the extension for security purposes, but the fact that he even asked for it lets me think that he still wants to play even after this year. Now it all can change.
Or he just wanted a severance package. To go home. A lot of guys retire before the contract up. You still get paid. I want a severance package on my way out. I think that's what he wanted.
Getting the severance package while Bronny's on the squad was kind of out of pocket. What did that be?
Bro, listen, a lot of things that he's done, according to you, has been out of pocket. It ain't gonna change. And him and Rich Paul, they're gonna do what they do, and rightfully so. He deserves a lot, but closed mouths don't get fed. He's gonna ask for whatever come. Listen, man, we've seen what Dennis is asking for. You better believe LeBron James camp is gonna be asking for whatever he feels he deserves, and then some. Listen, he's done enough for his organization. Give this man the package. Listen, there's so many guys, Robert Ory, McDyess, that were like retired and still getting paid, stretched and paid by teams after their retirement. Like,
damn, Antonio McDyess, that's a throwback name right there.
Only way I know this because I was with the Spurs at the time. But like, man, that's one team I'm speaking of. You know how many teams that have guys that retired and like we're still getting paid? I think it might have been maybe KG or Paul Pierce. I don't know. There were some guys that got stretched and were still getting paid. Luol Deng was getting paid after he was done. Maybe Timothy Mozgov. There's a couple guys that were still getting paid that were on the roster from way back. So.
I ain't mad at it. At all. All right. We not getting out of here, but we are about to take a break. When we come back, because we are sponsored by FanDuel, make every moment more, we have a bet to give you as it pertains to NBA futures and our top 5 players with something to prove in the 2025-2026 NBA season. Be right back. What's good? We're back with more Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. And again, this season, we are coming to you every Wednesday morning and every Friday morning on your podcast feed and on your YouTube feed as well. And be posting our content on our Instagram, our YouTube shorts, X, and TikTok. So go ahead and find us and stay familiar. And I think one of the reasons why you're definitely going to want to pay attention to our social media feeds, because even though within this show, we're going to be talking about some bets, even on the day of games, we will be lacing out and putting out bets as well on our feed. So you can get advice from somebody like Danny Green, who's won 3 NBA championships, and maybe some advice from me, somebody who's been doing sports betting content for the past 5 years. I can't believe sports betting has gotten this far already. Yeah. With that being said, it's time to do our bet of this show. And Danny, for this one, we are going to look at points per game leaders in the National Basketball Association. Right now, according to FanDuel Sportsbook, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the favorite in the market at plus 165. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who knows where he's going to finish the season, at plus 240. Luka, 5-1. Anthony Edwards, an interesting bet at 17-1. Nikola Jokic at 20-1. And Devin Booker, with no Kevin Durant, 30-1. Sneaky options. I can give you some more, Danny, such as Jaylen Brown, also 30-1. I don't know if he has the bag to be the leading scorer in the NBA, but we could be surprised. I'm surprised they even have Joel Embiid here at 40-1. Cade Cunningham, 60-1. And that pretty much really is the extent of where I'll go with this. Danny, who should be, or who is your personal favorite to lead the NBA in scoring this upcoming season?
I mean, looking at the odds, if you want to make big bank, right, you go with the guys that have the 40-1, right? 40-1, 60-1 odds, right?
For sure.
So if Joel Embiid was healthy, you'd probably make more for your buck. But I wouldn't bank on that. I wouldn't bank on that. Yes. Even though he's 5-1, I'm going with Luka Doncic, man. I think this is the year he's even more comfortable. Bron is 40, 41. He's not going to play every game. He's going to sit out games. I know he still wants to be all NBA and, I guess be eligible for that. But they're an offensive power team. I don't see a lot of defense. Now that he's got DeAndre Ayton, will help free up some. Still have Jackson Hayes, but I think this is the year. He's in shape. He's going to stay in shape and have a better, more of a rhythm full season with the Lakers in that uniform. So I'm going to go with Luka on this one. Obviously, SGA is a scoring machine. He does it unbelievable. He does get to free throw line. So is Jokic. But this year, I'm going to go with Luka Doncic.
All right. So, yes, Luka is obviously one of the more talented players. But Dan, let me give you I'm going to give you reasons why people will say he's not going to do it. Number one, he plays with LeBron James, and LeBron James is going to get up his shots. LeBron James is going to average 20 points per game, more than likely, right?
Probably 22.
Yeah. Number two, he's also playing with Austin Reeves, while he has multiple different things in his skill set, he is, as many would think, probably a score first type of player. And then on top of that, with having DeAndre Ayton there, maybe Luka ends up having a lot more dimes. And yes, and maybe you could help explain it a bit more why DeAndre Ayton actually opens up the offense for Luka. But it does seem to me, Danny, that it's hard to lead the league in scoring when you have two other guys who could lead teams in scoring, right? Like maybe LeBron could lead a team in scoring, right?
But not Austin. Yes, I agree. We all had these. We all had these. Reservations when the trade happened. I didn't think it was going to work at all. But when they got together, it looked pretty damn good. And Luka looked, but when they were rolling, they were scoring. And Bron is able to play off the ball. He's shown that now. He's able to not have to be effective without having the ball in his hand. So now it's time for Bron to really take a backseat. Luka to be the aggressor. Obviously, he can still learn from Bron, and it's night-on-night basis, depending on who's got it going. But for most nights, I think Luka is going to have the ball in his hands. Bron could play off the ball. I would say 40% of the time, Bron will have the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? And I think Luka will have it. And 60% of the time, and with the time that Bron is going to sit out, Austin Reeves is very good. And he is a score-first guy, but I don't see him being like a Lou Will where he has to shoot it every time. He still makes plays. And with them two on the floor, they've somehow figured out to make it work. And I see JJ, even him up in his game to where Luka's going to feel more comfortable and be the guy. Because he's the franchise going forward. Bron's got to, at best, a couple more years. You got to make sure, Luka is the guy that you're surrounding and building this team around. Like, not just offense system-wise, but player-wise. So wherever you make trades and pieces you pick up, it's going to be for this man.
So, okay. I understand. I see where you're getting at. And I would say, Danny, maybe the better bet is Anthony Edwards regardless. But why couldn't it be Anthony Edwards? He was number two. He was top two in three-pointers last year. He has said again that he's added to his bag yet again. He doesn't have ultra all-star that he's playing with. Yes, Julius Randle very talented, but he's not LeBron, and he definitely doesn't have a third scorer, at least a third off the bounce scorer like Luka has, like a third player that can create his shot. He has Julius Randle, but that's about it. If I'm looking at Anthony Edwards and I'm saying, look at the three-point volume, look at the youth. The only thing I think going against Anthony Edwards is that they're such a good defensive team that they might not have enough possessions. Where I think for your argument, the Lakers, I think it's still going to be very hard for them to be a very good defensive team. So they're going to have to
outscore you. They're going to have to outscore you. And to rebut that argument, Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker, very good players and can score a lot. And I think I put them together because I feel like Booker's in a similar situation. They have decent help, but not the same, which closes the floor for them. Teams are able to double you now. Teams can't double Luka like that when you have Austin Reeves and LeBron James. He is able to play one-on-one basketball with the guys he has. DeAndre Ayton, if he sets screens hard like we know he can and it gives you a roll threat and a lob threat, and Jackson Hayes does the same, you now have the floor wide open for Luka. There is no pick your poison, make other guys beat you. You ain't making LeBron James and Austin Reeves and those guys beat you. you're going to have to play him straight up unless you want LeBron to go off for 40 or Austin Reeves to give you 30. But with Anthony Edwards, you can double Anthony Edwards. You know, we're going to let Mick Julius beat us. And then who else is behind him? We're going to make Shannon Terrence Jr. like step up. He's going to have to develop. We know that the other guys got to show me something. Same with Book. Look, Jalen Green, you got to show me something. I'm doubling Book. I'm not going to let Book go off. So it's going to be harder for the guys to have a harder load. And it's a longer season. To do that all season long when you're carrying more of a load with less help, it's hard to keep that going. SGA is very good because he scores a lot. He also has very good help around him. He has a bunch of good shooters and a bunch of good defenders and makes the offense work for him because they can space the floor. Okay. And that's why he's also very good against the free throw line. Those other guys, Luka is very good against the free throw line.
So okay, you made some very compelling arguments against Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards. I can see what you're putting down. Okay, so why would it? Okay, so why wouldn't it be? Why would it be Luka over Shea then?
I'm just thinking it's Luka's year more. So I said I think go either way. It could be Luka, Shea, or even Jokic.
You gotta stand on business though.
I'm standing on. I think Luka, he's going to be in shape this year, and I think Shea, he had a long year. I think he's going to run out of gas a little bit. He was very fatigued by the end of the year. I don't know if he played this summer, but I see him trying to play 82 again or play and try to live to MVP caliber again. I just don't see him be able to do it at that high of a clip back-to-back years.
Well, and also too, I think they're also just a better defensive team, and they're deeper. So I think those elements probably mean that he doesn't have to go.
Which helps him, maybe so, but I think that helps his case because he's able to play one-on-one basket. Like he's able. Again, OKC is not a team that you can just double SGA. But again, I'm banking on that Luka's going to be more fresh and he's in better shape this year, and SGA is just going to.
And he's got the three ball, and Luka's got the three ball too. So there's that. You just made a very, very, very good argument. I think I don't know if I'm gonna tail it just yet, but you might have just convinced me. All right, so there you go. Luka Doncic right now available on FanDuel Sportsbook on the NBA tab for points per game leader in the 2025-2026 season. Danny's bet, Luka Doncic. Danny, we're gonna have to do a job of making sure we keep track of all of our bets by the end of the season. So right now we're taking the Rockets under 52.5 wins on the season. Mm-hmm. We're taking the Toronto Raptors to make the play in at -105 and or the playoffs, which is at +100. So those are a couple bets that I do like. But before we get out of here, I have to give you my top 5 for this episode. And the top 5 is, I'm pulling up my list right now, is for players with something to prove. So should I go? Let me go in reverse order. I think reverse
go
order
from 5 backwards. It's always better.
I go from 5 back. Yeah, let's go. Number 5. Let's go with number 5. Jalen Green. I thought he was up to something in Houston. He was absolutely hooping for a while. He was pretty much a 20-point per game scorer, and then he had a terrible playoffs, an absolutely terrible playoffs, to the point where the Houston Rockets front office said, you know what? We want to speed up the progress of this franchise. Jalen Green, you're out. KD, you're in. And I think that might have been a mistake. And yes, I know Kevin Durant is a better basketball player than Jalen Green, but I do think there's something to be said for the fact that Jalen Green probably has about at least 12 more years in the league, and he can be a consistent scorer. And again, and Danny, you've played with stars your whole career. Just because somebody had one bad playoffs doesn't mean they're going to be a bad playoff performer for the entirety of their careers. I think Jalen Green lets people know that you jumped the gun. You jumped the gun too quick on my career and on my trajectory. He was a lottery pick for a reason. He was a top 5 pick for a reason. He has athleticism. He has ball handling skills. He could shoot the ball. And yes, sometimes he didn't make the most wise decision, but that's what happens when you're under 25 and you're playing in the NBA and you're going against one of the best defenses in the NBA in the Golden State Warriors. They should have given him a chance, or at least I believe they should have given him a chance, and they let him go too early. Jalen Green, he has something to prove, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Now, I will say, I think it's a shame because in Phoenix, there's no true point guard, and I don't think that's going to be to his benefit. Yeah. But I'm standing on it. As much as I think Kevin Durant is great, Jalen Green has a
Was a
future
better fit.
too. And one bad playoffs at his age should not have led to the ridicule that he was getting online. They jumped the gun too quick. Your thoughts real quick.
I agree. And I like him. I liked him in Houston. Again, you said he has 10, all those points, very valid, bro. 10 years to KD's maybe 2. And maybe it's even maybe more years with Jalen and probably less years with KD. You know what I'm saying? So for you to trade a guy, a lottery pick that you could have a consistent scorer for the next 10 years, at least, maybe 12 to 14, I think is a mistake. And again, like you said, he had one bad playoffs. Most people learn and grow from it with maturity, with learning, with his first time in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So give him some time. And I think it was a mistake. But yes, I got him at number 5 too. So yeah.
Could you imagine Rockets end up being a first round exit this year? I could. Yeah, and maybe
with Fred not being there. Yeah, I definitely could.
Yeah. Could you imagine the Rockets being a first round exit this year? And maybe the Suns don't make the playoffs, but Jalen Green ends up averaging 25 points per game in Phoenix, and it looks like him and Book have a dangerous 1-2 combo for the next decade.
Yeah.
How you gonna feel then? All right, number 4, DeAndre Ayton. He had a time where he was in the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns, and then it all went to crap. It all went to shit. I don't know what happened. It looked like he lost his focus. At one point, he couldn't make it to an NBA basketball game because he got snowed in. I ain't never heard of that one before. He is in Los Angeles. You are on the marquee with Luka Doncic and LeBron James. If you're not going to do it now, you're not going to do it ever. Because of the attention that he's going to get and the money that he's potentially playing for, because if you can't hoop with LeBron James and Luka setting you up, everybody's going to think you can't hoop, or they think you're an unserious basketball player. Yeah, serious basketball needs to be played right now. I'm not saying his career's on the line, but I'm saying his career is on the line. Yeah. You're playing with the Lakers and you're getting layups. You're getting ushered to the rim.
Unbelievable looks. You'll have easy looks.
Come on.
Luka, Bron, and Austin.
Yeah. Come on. Don't fumble this one, because you ain't going to have another opportunity like this again.
Again, I have him on the list, but I thought you'd have him higher because Lakers really desperately need him, and he desperately needs this year for him to stay in the league and not end up how Ben Simmons is going through right now. Because I could see a quick, drastic fall off or fall out the league if he does not do well this year.
Yeah, I should have put him up. All right, number 3, Bradley Beal. At one point, Bradley Beal's career was seen in a positive light. He brought this franchise along with John Wall to notability in Washington, D.C.
New heights.
To new heights in Washington, D.C. And while they never necessarily went far, I think everybody looked at Bradley Beal as somebody that everybody respected in terms of what he has done with his professional career. And then all of a sudden, things kind of went sour in Washington, D.C. He wasn't available. And even when he was available, the team wasn't any good. And then he had a chance to revive his career being paired up with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And that was even worse because it turned out that he wasn't a fit. He was sulking, getting aggravated with coaches, had to come off the bench. And I watched him play basketball last year, and I couldn't believe how detached he looked. How could somebody playing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker look so detached? And don't blame it on the coach. There's a certain level of professionalism that everybody would expect you to be playing with, and he was not bringing that to the court. Maybe just because he thought the team wasn't good, doesn't matter. Can Bradley Beal actually play winning basketball? We know he's a good basketball player. That's not a question. We all know that. But can he play winning basketball? Can he contribute to a team that actually goes far in the playoffs again? Or was he at his peak in Washington, D.C.? And now look at it. He has an opportunity to play with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden under a great head coach in Ty Lue. If you cannot contribute to winning there, you're not contributing to winning anywhere else. Yeah, this is your opportunity to prove that you are a winning player. We know you're a good player. That is not up for review. Are you a winning player? That's what we're going to find out about Bradley Beal this year. That's why I have him at number 3.
I'm with you. I have him on the list, but I have him lower because he's older, and I don't expect as much from him.
I'm not expecting him to drop 20 points per game. I'm expecting to play winning basketball.
For sure. Again, though, to me, he's had a career. Like, his career is not like DeAndre Ayton's career is on the line. Jalen, like, this can change Jalen Green's trajectory. So I think it's more important for these guys who have more younger players have more years of a future to prove themselves, and this dictates where they're going to land, where the legacy, with their trajectory as a player. We already know Bradley Beal's legacy is already what it is. Now he can help with some things, but I just don't. So I would have him lower. But yes, he definitely has something to prove. He could help there, but again, he's on the older side. He's done, his tenure of 10 to 12 years, maybe 13 years. So, DeAndre Ayton is still a young player. Jalen Green's very young. So these guys better show and prove at this point.
Hey, my list is my list. All right. List. Number 2, Anthony Davis. Won a championship in LA. He's a champion. He's a championship caliber big man. He's a championship caliber forward, apparently. He doesn't want to be a center. But he's had stints in his career where his health has been under question, or his availability has been under question. And then this past offseason, the team that he delivered a championship to, or this past season, the team that he delivered a championship to, traded him away. And what we saw, Danny, was, this is what Anthony Davis could be if he was the lead guy. And I think there was a lot of people who were disappointed because it always felt like we thought LeBron was trying to hand him the mantle to be the next king of LA. And it felt like Anthony Davis, while still a very good player, never truly took the bull by the horns. And then you saw that first game in Dallas. He was scoring all over the place. He was blocking shots. He was passing the ball, getting assists. And you said to yourself, this guy's a menace. And then he got hurt. And then the offseason happened. And he came into camp out of shape. I don't know what's going on, but he might end up being one of the most criticized frontline championship players we've ever seen. Like, he undoubtedly one of the greatest players we've ever seen in the NBA.
Top 75 player, one of the top 75 guys.
Top 75 player. And for a moment could have been the NBA Finals MVP in the bubble. Legit. Without a question. He was going crazy.
For sure. And I have him high too.
We have questions about him.
Mm-hmm. It's just so many injuries, man. He's just one of those what if or woulda, coulda, shoulda type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he actually stayed healthy, what could he be? And of course, his career is not on the line. But if things don't pan out the way it's supposed to, his perception. The front office is on the line. The way he performs, what happens with him, is going to dictate what happens with that front office. Obviously, Nico looked like a genius when he got the number 1 pick. But if you don't get a championship in the next 2 or 3 years with this Anthony Davis iteration of the Dallas Mavericks, it's not looking good for you. They already hate you because you traded Luka. Now, if Anthony Davis doesn't pan out and doesn't show and prove, obviously he had an eye issue. He has to wear goggles or glasses for the rest of his career. He's had some injuries. He has to get back in shape. I think he has a chip on the shoulder and will prove. But if he doesn't, it's going to be some movement in that front office.
All right. And this one's going to shock you, Danny, but this is how I feel. Number 1, LaMelo Ball. He's an all-star caliber player. And I think, Danny, a lot of people would look at him and say he should be a top 5 point guard in the NBA. What can't LaMelo Ball do? He can shoot the 3. He's a great passer. And he's taken at one point, he was leading the Charlotte Hornets, to the play-in games. And then he just couldn't stay healthy. And if you are a franchise guy and he's making franchise money and you can't make the playoffs in this Eastern Conference, I'm just going to have to look at LaMelo Ball and just say, you're an unserious basketball player. You don't want to be seen as the TikTok basketball player of this generation. What he obviously has the style. He looks cool. He's one of the most popular NBA players because of just who he is and his upbringing and the way he
with
plays
the kids,
and
the
his
shoes.
style. Yeah, you be popular for more than how you look. Be popular for more than how you play. Be popular for winning. That's all we asking. Because we know that you, Danny, maybe I'm out of pocket here. Maybe I'm out of pocket.
Maybe a little. Number one.
I honestly feel like he should be just as good, if not better, than Tyrese Halliburton. Like you tell me,
but yes, he should be in that category. I'm with you. I think
you tell me like if he was in the NBA Finals. Remember people were criticizing Tyrese Halliburton for not scoring the ball in the NBA Finals or in the playoffs?
Yes.
LaMelo Ball would have gotten 10 plus assists in those games, just like Halliburton did, but he probably would have dropped 20 plus points. Like honestly, I don't see why he should be just as good as Halliburton, if not better.
It's more of the team aspect. You're not wrong. You're not out of pocket for saying that. His team has to execute better. They have to win more for him to be put in that category. I think.
What you say, Danny? His team.
He has to get his team there. He has to get his team there.
Can you lead? Yeah, you have to take
lead.
the team there.
You have to stay healthy. You have to lead. But again, he should be in that category. You're not out of pocket for saying that. But I don't think he's number one for the most players to prove.
It's my list, not your list.
You feel the way about it. And yes, he should. He's definitely on the list, and he should be pretty, I'm going to say, at least in the middle of the list or high up on the list because he has something to prove. I thought you would have Zion up there. If you have LaMelo Ball up there, Zion's got to be in there somewhere. But hey, it's your list. I like it. I agree with all parties. Anthony Davis does have something to prove. So does all those guys. Good list, man. But yeah.
Now, I obviously like LaMelo Ball doesn't feel like as high as stakes because it's the Charlotte Hornets. But I'm just thinking about who is the most talented on that. Who's one of the more talented players in the NBA that hasn't accomplished anything? And I feel like if you look at the entirety of the NBA, LaMelo Ball is in the top 5 of talented players who haven't accomplished anything. Who's been in the league long? He's been in the league long enough, and he hasn't accomplished anything. And we all know he's super talented.
Yeah. So Zion, I'm gonna put him in there too. But yeah, good list, man. I'm with you. It's dope.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, we got to get up out of here. If you don't agree with my list or if you agree with my list, let me know on All Things Social. He's Danny Green. I'm Harrison Sanford. We'll be back on Friday morning, so make sure you stay tuned. Until then, Danny, tell them what to do.
Read, rate, subscribe, review. Peace.